Liquidity ratio measures a company's ability to meet its debt obligations using its current asset. When a company is experiencing financial difficulties and is unable to pay its debt, it can convert its asset into cash and use the money to settle any pending debt that with more ease. Some common liquidity ratio include current ratio and acid test ratio or quick ratio. Liquidity ratio are commonly used by banks, creditors, and suppliers to determine if a client has the ability to honor their financial obligations as they come due. For current ratio, the formula is current asset divided by current liability. If the current ratio is equivalent to 2. This means that for every 1 ringgit of current liability, the firm has 2 ringgit of current asset to repay that 1 ringgit of current liability. Next is acid test ratio or quick ratio. The formula is current asset less inventory less prepaid expenses divided with current liability. Acid test ratio is a better measure of liquidity than the current ratio because it does not take into account the inventory of a business, which is the least liquid asset of the current asset. The prepayment are also deducted because they are considered to be less liquid and generally will not be converted into cash. So, it tells us about the business ability to repay its current liability using its liquid asset. Let's say the acid test ratio is equivalent to 1 ringgit 1.53. This means that for every 1 ringgit of current liability, the firm has RM 1 ringgit 53 cent of liquid asset to repay that 1 ringgit of current liability. Next, what if the the liquidity ratio for the company is less than 1? So it may show that the business has a liquidity problem. So what is the causes? Some of the causes are that the business hold too much inventory, poor debt collection system, and poor cash management. Or maybe the company is using short-term sources of financing to purchase the long-term asset. Therefore, the suggestion that can be made to improve the liquidity problem is improve the collection system, or the business should manage its current liability properly, or use long-term sources for future financing.